There's a fair amount of drugs, marijuana, magic mushrooms, cocaine. I mean, that's going to surprise people.
But important to acknowledge.
Magic mushrooms in California. Oh, you idiot. Why would you say that? It's not unless you're an American citizen. The federal law for the whole country, which would apply to non-citizens, is that it's illegal. So he's admitted breaking the law.
Piers Morgan and Prince Harry, the tension between them has been brewing for years. But now, it's boiling over. On live TV, Piers didn't hold back. With his signature smirk and that cutting tone he's known for, he launched into yet another blistering takedown of the Duke of Sussex, and this time, he zeroed in on the one topic that has the palace on edge, Harry's drug use. And just like that, the gloves were off.
Harry and Meghan, I don't particularly like talking about them anymore. I think it's become it's just a relentless kind of...
Because while Harry continues making public pleas for reconciliation and therapy-inspired redemption arcs, Piers went in with a brutal verbal swing, calling him a dead-eyed, drug-addled, whiny, entitled little twerp. Harsh? Absolutely. But in Morgan's eyes, it was deserved. Especially now, as whispers about Harry's alleged relapse are getting louder, fueled by awkward appearances, vacant expressions, and a past littered with very public drug confessions. And Piers? He's not just questioning Harry's image, he's questioning his judgment, his honesty, and even his right to remain in the US. He pointed out that American immigration officials take a dim view of drug use by non-citizens. And if the rumors are true, this feud could be the least of Harry's problems. Let's rewind. Prince Harry has admitted in his own words, repeatedly, that he used drugs and alcohol to numb the pain. That's not something a prince typically broadcasts, which is why many were stunned when he did. But Harry explained it came from a place of trauma, from the loss of Princess Diana to the crushing weight of royal life. He turned to drugs in spare. He even described using psychedelics to escape reality, claiming they helped him redefine reality and burst a bubble.
So it's Harry the druggie. Yes, it's cannabis, it's cocaine, it's hallucinogenics, which helped him to see the truth and made him understand his own unconscious bias. I wonder whether, actually, the habitual drug taking is part of the problem.
But lately, it seems that the bubble may have popped. Once again, Piers resurfaced with criticism. Not just of Harry, but of Meghan too. He's made it clear over the years, when it comes to the Sussexes, he sees nothing but contradiction. He's repeatedly accused them of performative compassion, selective privacy, and turning personal trauma into primetime content. To Piers, it's all a media game, preaching mental health while cashing Netflix checks. Whether you agree or not, he's remained one of the few voices willing to say what others won't. Because to him, this isn't about fame, it's about accountability, and in his view, Harry isn't healing, he's hiding. And this isn't the first time Piers dragged the prince. In fact, some of his sharpest criticism came after Harry's open admission to using cocaine, magic mushrooms, and marijuana, including in that viral therapy interview with Dr. Gabor Mate. Piers was one of the first to raise the question others were too cautious to touch. Can someone who openly confesses to illegal drug use still qualify for a US visa?
Prince Harry, now he's got himself into a bit of a bind here, and I know why. This is what he said to Tom Bradby at ITN.
There's a fair amount of drugs, marijuana, magic mushrooms, cocaine. I mean, that's going to surprise people.
But important to acknowledge.
Well, maybe it is, but what he didn't factor into his confession, particularly about drug taking in America, is he's not an American citizen.
Yep.
So in a state like California, a lot of Brits might go there and think, oh, it's legal to be seen smoking spliffs. It's not unless you're an American citizen. The federal law for the whole country, which would apply to non-citizens, is that it's illegal. So he's admitted breaking the law. That could trigger a review of his visa status.
Absolutely. And, you know, the argument is he's not a threat to the country, so that shouldn't affect him too much. But it just shows he's a very stupid man. Because there's so many instances. I mean, one of the things that he's been complaining about...
I did magic mushrooms in California. Oh, you
It's
idiot.
you
Why would you
idiot.
say that?
It's a valid question because US immigration law is strict. Even a past admission to drug use can jeopardize a non-citizen's eligibility. And Harry? He didn't just admit it casually. He put it in writing, spoke about it publicly, and even detailed tripping on mushrooms at Courtney Cox's house. While he called it recreational, US law doesn't necessarily care about context. Piers also criticized what he called media bias, arguing that if any regular British citizen had said the same, they'd likely be denied entry or deported. And now, immigration experts are weighing in, not because Harry's is in legal trouble, but because this high-profile case could set a precedent. But here's where the facts end, and the speculation begins. Rumors have surfaced online claiming that Prince Harry allegedly suffered a medical emergency at his Montecito home.
When it comes to Prince Harry, we're going to talk about the story around Harry being taken to the hospital under suspicious circumstances, and they are saying it could be because of an overdose.
Sources suggest he was found unresponsive and later treated for what some described as complications tied to substance use. There's no confirmation from credible outlets, no photos, no statements, just whispers, but they're growing louder. So this might mean it's something. What's fanning the flames even more? The allegation that Meghan Markle was spotted at an exclusive club in West Hollywood the same night, laughing and socializing while Harry was reportedly in crisis. Again, no hard proof, just speculation. But inside palace circles, some are calling it strategy, not coincidence. Even royal biographers like Penny Junor have talked about Prince Harry's turbulent journey for decades, painting a portrait of a young man who was never truly at ease within the rigid walls of the monarchy.
Independents, others question it. In an op-ed in the Daily Mail, royal biographer Penny Junor writes that she fears Prince Harry appears to be on a, quote, trajectory of self-destruction. She also writes he, quote, essentially is rejecting his birthright, his closest family, and a public role that he seemed to have embraced and even flourished in.
From the moment he stepped into adolescence, Harry's life took on the markings of quiet rebellion, one laced with privilege but haunted by emotional chaos. Penny and other royal commentators have written extensively about the Duke of Sussex's so-called wild phase, which wasn't just confined to tabloid exaggeration.
Harry was a very cheerful, happy man. Always laughing, always joking, always taking the mickey out of someone. That cheerful, charming man seems to have disappeared, and in his place we have an angry, disgruntled, really seriously disgruntled man.
Behind the palace gates, insiders whispered about secret outbursts, bitter arguments, and a deepening resentment toward the constant scrutiny he faced. Reports also emerged over the years of underage drinking, partying in Kensington basements, and even experimenting with vodka snorting. A trend so bizarre it raised red flags about his need to push boundaries. So basically, Piers' statement about Harry's wild escapades is nothing new. In fact, Harry was frequently seen in the company of older friends known for their hard-partying lifestyles, slipping away to exclusive getaways that doubled as escapes from the flashing cameras and suffocating royal expectations. At one point, it's been said, though never confirmed, that Prince Charles constructed a private chill-out zone at Highgrove House, complete with gaming consoles, blackout curtains, and a stocked bar, all in a desperate attempt to keep Harry's behavior under wraps and off the front pages. Yup, that's how bad it was. While the makeshift lounge remains unverified, what's not in doubt is the sense of crisis control that followed Harry throughout his youth. These weren't just boys will be boys moments. They were the early warning signs of a man struggling to reconcile his public duty with his personal anguish. Penny and others note that much of Harry's discontent can be traced back to the trauma of losing his mother, Diana, another royal who tried to navigate the spotlight while shielding her pain. Like mother, like son, some would argue. And in many ways, Harry seems to be walking a path she carved, one paved with media manipulation, emotional volatility, and a deep distrust of the institution he was born into. There were also rumors, never confirmed, that during Harry's military service, drug tests were conveniently dodged or delayed. But again, no paper trail, no proof. What's changed now is visibility. Harry's recent public appearances, the flat tone, the distant look, have raised eyebrows. His speeches feel scripted. His interviews are robotic. And the spark that once made him the cheeky, rebellious prince, gone. And while Meghan's focused on lifestyle brands, fruit spreads, and floral sprinkle jars, Harry seems to be unraveling behind the scenes. Even Spare raised concerns. In one chapter, Harry casually recounted inhaling a full tank of laughing gas during Archie's birth, a substance tightly regulated in medical settings. It was framed as a lighthearted moment, but now, people are rereading it differently. Insiders claim King Charles is watching closely. He was reportedly notified the moment the rumors of Harry's alleged emergency began circulating. While there's been no official palace comment, sources say the king's patience is wearing thin, not with the press, not with Meghan, but with Harry himself. And Charles? He's allegedly drawing a line. You made this mess. You fix it. While reports suggest he may still be offering behind-the-scenes support, that lifeline may not last much longer. Because let's be honest, the palace can't keep cleaning up PR messes forever, especially if Meghan really was absent during Harry's alleged collapse. The silence surrounding it, it's deafening. Now, the question isn't just whether Harry's struggling, it's how long he's been struggling. And who knew? Unconfirmed rumors from Meghan's past, including stories of party favors at her first wedding and alleged ties through her mother to less than savory circles, have resurfaced. There's no hard evidence, just whispers. But they've added fuel to the narrative that Meghan may not just be uninvolved, she may be enabling. According to some online theories, she's used Harry's vulnerabilities as a form of control. That's not a fact, it's speculation, but it's gaining traction. And get this, Greg Gutfeld talked about this before, accusing Meghan of marrying Harry to make a brand out of him. Because what we're seeing now isn't just a personal crisis, it's a public unraveling. A royal once admired for breaking tradition now looks like he's barely holding it together. And while Piers Morgan keeps the criticism sharp, the deeper truth is this: Harry might not be okay. And it goes deeper than just drugs or media appearances. It's about isolation, the kind that comes when you're cut off from your family, your roots, and maybe even your sense of self. Some insiders claim Harry doesn't have a real support system in Montecito. That, outside of Meghan and a carefully selected team, there's no one around him keeping him grounded. That's where the real concern lies. Because if Harry is spiraling, emotionally, mentally, or otherwise, who's there to stop it? Who's stepping in behind closed doors to say, enough is enough? It's not just about appearances anymore, it's about safety. And in a world where the spotlight never dims, where every move is analyzed and every misstep magnified, Harry doesn't just need privacy. He needs protection. Not from the press, but from the weight of his own unraveling. If he doesn't get help, real, clinical, behind closed doors help, this won't end in a tabloid scandal. It'll end in tragedy. And the people who laughed, ignored, or enabled, they'll be the ones explaining how it all went so far. Because right now, time is running out, and the whole world is watching. But what do you guys think? Let us know in the comments below and make sure to stick around for more update.